See your time. It is myOrganized.life, April 16th, 2018. Well, hello and welcome to myOrganized.life Live. I am John Hunt and, Leanne's not here today. Leanne is off today, so I'm running the show solo. Let's see if I can actually do that or not today. But this is the show where we give you organizing tips, advice, and get your feedback, questions, and comments. Maybe today in the comments you can say, yeah, John, you can handle the show on your own, or no, we need Leanne in there to spice things up a bit. So, it's the beginning of the week. A little bit of extension for tax day was supposed to happen on the 15th, but they give you an extra day or so. So maybe you're working on your taxes last minute here. Maybe you are just sitting around on a Monday. Up here in Minnesota, had a huge snowstorm this weekend. That's one of the reasons Leanne is not in. She was out of town. Her flight got canceled, so she got back in late yesterday and just decided needed a day at home. Totally understand that. So anyway, but let me know in the comments where you're watching from today. And our title today is called See Your Time. Talking about visualizing time, and specifically we're talking about teens today. We kind of talked a little bit about that last week on time management for teens, and today we're going to do another podcast feature from one of our previous podcasts, number 139, and it was, or actually 138 and 137, back I think in season 2 or 3, and it's how to help your student own their time and responsibilities. So how would you like to get your teenager to own their time and their responsibilities? Well, we're going to scratch the surface on that today and also encourage you to go to smead.com/podcast and then go down to number 137 and 138, which are our podcasts. It was a 2-part show with Leslie Josell talking about this exact subject. Well, we've got a little clip from that episode that we want to talk to you about and kind of preview with you today. And I'll cue that up right now. And this is Leslie Josell.
We've spoken many times on this podcast, you and I, and even a million other organizers, about organizing. And with students, what I have found, this is my own thing, this isn't research proven, I find that my students pick up the organizing a lot faster than they do the time management. And I feel it's because with the organizing, it's very tangible. It's very tactile. They find maybe a binder system that works, or a folder, or an accordion, or, the great products you all make, something that hits them because they can see it. And then they can, they use it and the organizing starts to fall into place. Right. Time management, not so much. It's very hard to see time. We know that. But time is a beginning, a middle, all of that stuff. So I always start with the concept when I'm talking to parents or students or even educators that a student has to be able to see their time before they can be expected to manage it.
Right. And
how do you do that? It's the same concept as adults. Adults have appointments and they have a to-do list.
Yes.
And those two things have to be married for us to be able to be efficient in our time awareness and our time planning. It's your homework and projects and tests are your to-do list. Yep. And their after school activities or even before school activities are their appointments. It's the same concept for students. You need to marry what homework and tests they have, but with what else they're doing as well, so that they can see, there's that C word again, available blocks of time to know when they have the time to get things done.
Right.
If they don't see time, they don't know they have field hockey practice, play rehearsal, grandma's 80th birthday. So they might be thinking, hey, it's Monday, that test is Thursday, I got all the time in the world. But not if you don't see that you have all of those other commitments.
Well, coming up this Wednesday on our podcast Wednesday, we release a new episode every week at 2 p.m. Central Time. I'm super excited about this.
Too.
You know who we have on?
Yes, Leslie Josell.
Yes, Order Out of Chaos. Leslie's with us right now. Leslie, we're going to talk about how to get organized for taking an exam or a test. So give us a quick preview of what that's going to look like.
So we're going to talk about how to plan versus cram, and we're going to teach you how to teach your student to study smarter, not harder. I'm going to take you through my 5-step process, everything from figuring out how your student knows what they know to what study tools to use, and then to actually how to plan for their exam and to know when they're done studying. That's the key.
That's
when
great.
They know they're done.
Awesome. Now, Leslie, what is the biggest mistake that students make when studying or not studying?
So I can never only give one.
Yeah, of course. Well, that's 2 then.
But they're quick. 1 is that they don't plan their time. That they think studying like the night before is best because they figure like, oh, I can just cram it into my brain. But we actually know, research shows us that a little bit over a course of a few days is actually better for retention. And the second thing is they think reading or rereading notes or a textbook is studying, and could not be further from the truth. And I'm going to tell you what is the best way to study.
Oh, I can't wait.
Cool.
And my
Sounds good.
2 daughters, one in high school, one in college, both in the middle of test season right now. So
they'll benefit from this.
They are definitely going to do it. So 2 p.m. Central this Wednesday, live here on Facebook. That's 3 p.m. Eastern and noon Pacific. We'll see you then. All right, well, there's a little glimpse of, that was from podcast number 138. Again, you can go to smead.com/podcast. Scroll down, because this was from like season 2 or 3, number 137 and 138. That was actually from 138, how to help your student own their time and responsibilities. And there's a lot of great pieces to that show that we couldn't show you today, but there's one particular I like it where she talks about when should parents stop holding the hand of their student? And we're not talking, how you do it with someone younger, but just, that whole concept of, not empowering your student to own their time. So anyway, that's a great podcast. And you saw Leanne on that promo there for coming up this Wednesday. We have part 2 of Leslie's podcast on how to prepare for an exam or a test. So be here for that live, 2 p.m. Central Time, right here on Facebook Live. Of course, you can watch it afterwards or download audio from iTunes, Smead.com, myOrganized.life/blog. So lots of places to get the program. But if you want to get it here first, you can do it on Facebook Live, 2 p.m. Central Time. Speaking of tomorrow, we're going to talk about prioritization. What to do now versus what to do later. Leanne will be back for that one. And again, Wednesday we have Leslie's part 2 of her podcast on how to take an exam or get organized to prepare for that. It's exam season, right now. And then, of course, we'll have some solutions on Thursday and then wrap up the week with Blogger Roundup coming up on Friday. So that's about it for today. If you have any questions, go ahead and put them in the comment section. Whether you're watching this live or on a replay, we will come back. Hey, hi Lynn out there in Myrtle Beach. Welcome to the live broadcast. And everybody else who's tuning in and out throughout this thing. We do this Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 Eastern, noon Pacific time, except for when we have the days off. And like Leanne, she's just off today. So anyway, we will see you tomorrow at 2 p.m. Central right here on Facebook for another edition of myOrganized.life live.